Lesson 41, Charts. In this lesson, we're going to take a look at how to create charts with VBA. Now, if you have Excel 2007, you realize that they completely rewrote the charting engine, which was an ambitious project. So ambitious that the one huge downside is that they never got around to finishing the macro recorder for creating charts. If you turn on the macro recorder and create a chart and do some formatting, you might be lucky to get just the first line of code recorded, and certainly none of the formatting is going to be recorded. So we have a problem. I mean, you have to try and figure out how to create charts, and we'll show you how to do that using the watch window. Although, frankly, if you have a computer that has Excel 2003, my real advice is to run over to that computer and create the chart there with the macro recorder on, and you're going to get a good clue as to the code that you're going to use in Excel 2007. So let's get started. Okay, so we have a data set here. I'd like to create a chart of these two different series. We'll take a look at the code to do that. It's actually very quick to create a chart, especially if you're willing to accept the default settings. Now, I actually have expanded a little bit more here as far as specifying the exact location and things like that. But here's the basic task. We have an object called a chart object. Of course, the worksheet object. I also am using some up and down bars here, so I defined an object variable that is up bars. Object variable to the current worksheet. This is just simply so that we don't have to keep typing worksheets lesson 41. And we're using the add chart method, which applies to the shapes collection on the worksheet. This piece right here, XL line, that tells it what type of a chart we're going to create. If I click on add chart and click F1 for help, we're going to get the add chart method. You'll see that XL chart type is the data type. Usually that's a hyperlink. For some reason, this topic in the help file, at least as of right now, is not a valid hyperlink anymore, but that's okay. We'll just come up here and type in XL chart type and click search. We're looking for the enumeration, so right there, XL chart type enumeration. There is the list of probably 73 different chart types that you can create. I haven't counted them all. I know there's 73 chart types in the Excel interface. I would expect that there'd be 73 chart types here. So you can just find the right code for the type of chart that you're trying to create. If you didn't specify, it's going to create the chart right in the middle of the current window. And so I was very specific here as far as the left, the top, the width, and the height. And look what I did. I actually used the worksheet range E2.left. That'll tell me how many pixels from the left edge of the window, which is what I need here for the left. So I'm actually specifying the range where I want it to go and asking for the left, the top, the width, and height of that range, and using that when I create the chart. All right, and then probably the most important piece is we've selected the chart, so now we can talk about the active chart. Active chart.set source data, and then specify the source. The source is A3 to C15. So that will specify that range. And Excel is going to use their IntelliSense to figure out that we have two series with 12 different points in that series. Now, just to show you some of the other things we can do with charts, I then went on to add up and down bars. Up and down bars basically show the span between the top line and the bottom line. A couple of different things. The help says that we should use .interior.colorIndex, but in that case we're limited to the 56 colors in the old Excel. So I'm going to comment out those two lines of code and use the new methods, or new properties. We're going to use the new methods, downbars.format.fill.forecolor, and then RGB allows us to specify any of the 16 million colors that can be represented by the red, green, blue codes. So an RGB of 25500 is going to be 100% red, and then for the up bars, 0 for red, 255 for green, and 0 for blue will be 100% green. So let's go ahead and run this macro, and you see that we created a chart. It runs from E2 to L14, and I added the up and down bars, and they use my color. Now, here's the real problem. Most things in Excel, you can turn on the macro recorder, do a few things, and see what happens. Unfortunately, that does not work in Excel 2007. They never finished the macro recorder And so you can go in, and change the legend or do whatever you need to do, and you're not going to see any recorded code from that. So I'm going to use the watch window here. Selected a chart, and I run this tiny little macro, explore chart elements. And basically what it does is it sets up 3 object variables for me. One is the chart, one is the chart group, and one is the series. Chart group, this is an interesting concept. You can change some series to be columns and some series to be lines. When you do that, that creates 2 different chart groups. So for the most part, if all of your series are the same chart type, you're just going to have one chart group. And then what we can do is right-click and say Add Watch. And I'm going to do that for all 3 elements while this macro is still active. So I'm still here in debug mode. Add Watch. And then for the series, right-click Add Watch. And so now I can start to open these up and investigate. And see that the down bars have these certain properties. There's the fill property, the background color, the foreground color. And get in and start to see the items from the object model and what the value is. You can actually go through and change something in the chart, come back, rerun this macro, and see if you can detect what changed. I'll be honest, there have been times where I shoot a screenshot of the watch window, make some changes in the chart, come back and compare the screenshot to the new watch window to try and figure out what changed. It's really too bad that they could not finish the macro recorder. Maybe in Excel 2010 it'll be done. So again, as I mentioned, you can go back to Excel 2003 and discover items there, or you can use this watch window to try and figure out exactly what changed. Certainly if you're trying to use some of the new features in Excel 2007, you're going to have to rely on the watch window in order to do that. Again, we are here in Module 2. If you go explore Module 1, you'll see many different code examples from the book VBA and Macros for Microsoft Excel. Feel free to experiment with those and use those, and there's fairly well commented there as far as how to do things like high, low, close, open charts and all kinds of interesting chart types. You'll see the code back there. All right, so that's a quick overview of creating charts. In the next lesson, we're going to start to talk about an amazing kind of macro called an event handler macro. These are very different than everything we've talked about so far. Allow you to do really amazing things with the Excel interface. People won't even realize that macros are running. A great topic. I want to thank you for watching this topic. I hope you found this helpful.
Looking to advance your career by acquiring new skills? Tired of expensive off-site training programs? Wish you could learn from the best instructors in the industry? Look no further than live lessons. Self-paced, personal video instruction by the world's leading technology publishers. Each live lesson comes with a DVD featuring 3 to 4 hours of instructor-led classroom training, sample program code that allows you to work along with your personal instructor, and an example-rich study guide. Live lessons allow you to watch the entire course from start to finish, or navigate directly to any of the individual lessons. You'll literally watch over the shoulder of your instructor as he shows you how to build state-of-the-art applications. Live lessons, the power of the world's leading technology experts at your fingertips. To learn more, visit mylivelessons.com today.